Tomorrow is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Rooter Plumbing for all your emergency plumbing services.
Yeah, big fire danger tomorrow morning. The air is very dry. That's one of the reasons we haven't been talking a lot about a tornado threat or large hail threat, just because there's no instability out there to start with. These are the winds sustained. So sustained at 23 by 2 in the afternoon. By 8 o'clock, they're sustained at 28 to 30 miles an hour. In between all this, wind gusts 45 to 60, and there's a possibility of some 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts involved in all of this before it's all said and done. We're going to go hour by hour through this in a second. Here's a look at the high wind timeline. This is when to expect the maximum wind that you're going to get all day between a 3-hour period, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Keep in mind, beginning at noon, our winds are going to gust 30 to 40 miles an hour just about everywhere. The winds finally shut down at midnight, but they come back around 3 or 4 in the morning for some areas out of the northwest at about 35 miles an hour. So a windy start to Wednesday morning, but not nearly as windy as it's going to be tomorrow night. 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock along I-65 from Coleman through Decatur, Huntsville metro area, Madison, Harvest, Monrovia up to Fayetteville, and then 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Gunnersville, Albertville, Boaz, Scottsboro. We're talking Rainsville section, Pisgah, Ider, also areas of Fort Payne down to Center and Gadsden. So this is going to accelerate rather quickly once it starts moving in. The other thing we're looking at is we may have a well-formed line of strong to severe thunderstorms across Mississippi racing to the east. And when they hit this stable, more dry air, it causes it to oscillate a little bit, and we get what's called a wake low, and then we can get prolonged wind over 50 miles per hour for a couple of hours. I've seen that happen before too. So a lot to look at. Again, this is going to be happening after sunset. So here we are towards sunset, 5:15. There's going to be a little bit of rain coming through. We don't expect a lot of lightning and thunder from this, so you're not going to hear that normal lightning and thunder off in the distance as this approaches, but you'll likely hear what sounds like a jet engine. That'll be those winds coming through the trees as those strong wind gusts start to move in. Notice all this with winds around 40 to 50 miles per hour at 6 o'clock. This is the main line we're watching. You kind of see this real narrow band here. That is going to be what contains the potential for these brief spin-up tornadoes, but also potential for widespread damaging wind gusts. The model guidance really doesn't do a good job of picking this up. That's why you see more of this gradient type wind gusts here. What we're looking at above this narrow line is called a low-level jet stream, and it's out of the south at about 4,000 to 5,000 feet above the ground, and that has winds over 90 miles per hour in it. And as it moves across these showers and thunderstorms, some of that heavy rain pulls those higher wind gusts down to the surface. So that's how we're going to get that potential for those 70+ mile per hour winds. And if we start to see this and we start to get more reports, we will break into programming and kind of go into our long form severe weather coverage. So I want to remind you, even though we may be dealing with just severe thunderstorm warnings tomorrow, depending on how high these winds get, you may need to seek shelter from these storms in the interior of your home as they come through. By 10 o'clock, moving through Scottsboro and Fort Payne. By 11 o'clock, it is out of here. So again, the most vulnerable structures are going to be mobile homes out there. At 80 miles per hour, mobile homes can become airborne. It's a 48 First Alert Weather Day. Stay weather alert. Again, the worst of the weather moving in after sunset. 55 Wednesday and windy in the morning. And then we get to the weekend, more showers late Saturday night into Sunday. And we also go back to daylight saving time. I do have some good news for you, if you like that.
People do like it, but getting back to the strong wind, you mentioned earlier today on why so many schools are canceling activities early and doing early dismissal, because the buses can't deal with that kind of wind.
Yeah, that kind of wind. Plus, you don't want a lot of people out and about with trees falling on cars. I think it was a couple years ago in March, we had a tree fall on a car on I-65 driving down the road. It was a very windy day, and it wasn't even raining at that time. It was behind the system. Yeah. So, yeah, wind in March. It's coming.
It's coming in like a lion, as you said.
Definitely.